council to order. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Bishop,
Present.
Black,
Here.
Easley, Case,
Here.
Riddle,
Here.
Thompson,
Here.
Mayor Davis.
Here. If you will all join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now, if you all stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Are there any items to be added to the agenda? Seeing none, can I have a motion to
Madam Mayor, I
approve
move
the
we
agenda?
approve the agenda as is.
I'll second it.
Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Motion by Page, second by Black. All those in favor, Bishop,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Easley, Case,
Yes.
Riddle,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up?
There's no
No one
sign.
signed up, and do we have any presentations?
There are none.
No presentations, so we'll go right to reports from staff, starting with the town manager.
Good evening, council members, mayor, team members. Last month was focused on, again, continuation of our ongoing water improvement projects, cleaning up after the snowfall and the ice and the rainfall, windstorms, and working with parties through the, interested in the medical building and working through the budget process. Like always, lots of items in my report. I'll hit some of the highlights. If you have a question about something I don't cover, please ask. On the front page, the big thing was, as we participated in the different committee meetings, as we worked through, the water and sewer meeting is set for Monday the 17th of March at 3:30, so that has gone out with an agenda to be looked at. And then right now, the planning commission is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, 19th March at 5 p.m. There's a couple of conflicts popping up with that one, so that meeting may move to try to get further participation. Again, water meters, we're at that 99% installed. There's a few little pieces here and there to get the big ones that will be pushed for this week. Will be to get the soccer field meter replaced for Hargrave before they start watering that big grass field up there. Gives them an idea of what they have, and then we have a couple of small ones to work on. We're continuing to work on identifying and schedule grant opportunities. There are some, we talked about in the budget meeting, there are several cost share grant opportunities that have been identified in the proposed budget. As we move forward, we are back into the program with VDOT for their sidewalk and pedestrian route program. That has just, the first meeting was held last week. We'll have a second meeting. They still have our same request for the Reed Street sidewalk repair and the Peach Street sidewalk extensions. So we're just rolling those back in there and seeing if they'll get a little more traction and some better cost associated with it. And then working with WPPDC, there's a new Department of Housing and Urban Development that is a grant that is out to help develop plans for smaller communities with their land. So if we have land sitting around, like we have two parcels of land that have just been sitting there for a while, that they'll come in and just tell us what, it's all grant driven, look at it, identify some possible uses, come up with some sketches, not designed, so that if the council goes, hey, we want to sell this land, now you have a template of what's there staked out and a sketch to sell either to developers or to others. We roll into Infomark with our shared expectations and measured performance. Working hard through the storm cleanup. They're getting ready to, again, our simple little things like the banners have been changed, so we're now officially into the spring, so they're gearing up for our mowing season. Again, they're trying to roll into their hydrant and valve exercise program along with painting the hydrants as they go out and find one that are needed. Finished water report off of the water plant. was a total of $172 million, or 172 million gallons for January and February, averaging about 0.47 million gallons a day, 14.4 million gallons a month. So we're very consistent with where we have been. Our big challenge for the last month has been in sewer and collection. For some reason, we had a large, it spiked and then it dropped way off. And we couldn't figure out why it dropped way off. And Malcolm and the police department have been walking every sewer line we have, and they did find a leak this afternoon, so they are out. Malcolm, that's where he is today, he's out there. It's on the back side of the woods, on the back, kind of along 29 there, where you go 29 south between what you would call the Oakland neighborhood, back up towards the plant. So there's a big ravine. Part of that's elevated, but some of it's down underneath the ground. So they did finally find that, so they're out working on that leak. We'll get more information from that we'll share once we get a report back from Malcolm and his crew. We've already talked about the several items on the wastewater treatment plant. We had a meeting with our bi-weekly meeting with Infomark today, so it's looking at a priority of items when they briefed the remaining maintenance cap. We've got as in here, several items that need to be addressed, and then what's left over, Infomark is putting together their priority of parts list so that we can do like we did last year, take that maintenance cap and start rolling over and start getting critical parts on the shelf so we're never down if something breaks. And then we have, Infomark really has, their big challenge in the mix of all this is on the bottom of that, the Infomark section. They've got 3 projects that I need plans for. We've been working on these for a while, and it's like I told them today, Malcolm owes me plans by the end of the week on how they are going to make these connections for these citizens. So they put in the request. We just need to get quotes out to them and tell them here's what it's gonna cost. You know, because our standard is $1,500 for a water sewer tap, or actual cost if it goes above that. So he's got to provide actual cost, because none of these are straightforward water sewer taps. Our external focus, we are 33% complete on our work with our water improvement system. They have got the parts, so they'll be ready to, everything on Beverly Heights is completed except for the boring under the creek, make the final connection. That will occur once they pull their boring machine away from the water plant. So they're still trying to get that last little, I think they have 50 feet of rock to get through over from the water plant to the towards Columbia Forest. So once they get that done, they'll move it up on the bridge on Beverly Heights Road and complete that piece. We did do a change order number 3, and that was for Verizon. So Verizon laid a line down on top of that, the opposite side of the road, after it had already been marked. So their line is down there. We had 2 options on that. Was either to bring back trucks in so you could dig around the line and not cut it and break it. Or Verizon said that they'd come out, they pulled the line, laid it off to the side. Our contractor put our water line down, then they'll just rebury the line. So that was $24,000 for them to come out and do that. But it saved us about, the back truck had an estimate of $112.